he's drawing pictures on the old set list here.
Are they group pictures?
They are group pictures. Well, they're slightly group pictures. Ben it has very odd ways of telling someone that he likes them, and it usually involves the word "but."
I think you're making an assumption.
What?
That I like you.
I don't like me.
It's kind of what.
Also, there's
Since you have ruined the set list. Sure.
So, yeah, alright, I have to show you. The translation, of course, is Heather is a butt. Because that's Ben, and that's what he says. And I think Ben needs to know. I was having a really, really bad day once, and Ben had been working in my home office and had gone home. And then the next morning, I started seeing these little red pieces of paper all around my office. Okay, what are these things? Every time I found one, all it said was, "but." I found like 14 of them by the end of the day. It was awesome. Do you have my set list books or my sign-up books?
Over there. Right where you left them.
Alright. Most of you are on my newsletter list already. If you aren't and would like to get an email newsletter from us every month or so, just give us a name and email address. Write big, we have lots of pages. And this is kept private. This does not get shared with anybody else. And I'm just going to pass them hand in hand and they'll make it to the back there. So.
Just me and my photocopier.
No, we're good. Alright.
How about this? Does anybody need the book?
Does anybody even have, you know, like, is it on my list already? So, when I first discovered medievalist groups, specifically the SCA, Society for Creative and Academic, I was 19, and my parents videotaped something that was it was a 20-minute news feature on the King and Queen of the Mid-Realm, David and Tanguistel, and they had sent a news crew with a television camera down to Penzance, and they followed around this king and queen, of course, showing what their life at Penzance was like. And my parents thought, "Oh, you like castles, you should look at this." And I just looked at it and went, "How do I find these people?" On my mother's birthday, my mother was very indulgent. On my mother's birthday, I gave her a present, which was 2 tickets for the Orangeville Medieval Festival, because that's exactly what my mom wanted for her birthday. And she took me, bless her. And I marched up to the first person who looked like they were in really good medieval clothing, and I said, "You're part of the SCA, aren't you?" And he said, "Yeah." And it turned out to be Master Ragnar, who I was in the group that I eventually joined. While we were in a university town, so of course we did a lot of activities together. And whenever we went into public schools, usually grade 4, grade 5, they're learning about Middle Ages, we would go in full garb, of course, and talk to the students about what life was actually like. And we always worked out, there was a friend of mine, Bernadette, and she was an awesome fighter. Just, you could tell she was grinning every time she was even behind the closed helmet. She and a male friend of hers would march into the school gymnasium in full armor, helmets on, and Sir Bernie and Sir whoever the other guy was would do a sword fighting demonstration for the kids. And of course they are going nuts, they are cheering, they always worked it out that Bernadette would win. So as the kids are cheering, the helmets come off and Bernie's hair tumbles down. And there was this hiccup in the social fabric of the room. Because in the current Middle Ages, there is absolutely nothing that you cannot do, no matter who you're born as. So I always looked at the boys, and the boys would be like muttering, going, "Did that guy just get beat up by a girl?" Yes, he did. And all the little girls would look at Bernadette, look at each other, look back at Bernie, and go, "Yes!" Love to know where all of those young women took that lesson, that in this day and age, there is nothing that you cannot do when you put your mind to it. So this one is for Bernie, it's one of us. Oh. stronger than my arms could ever be. So I thought perhaps that field was not for me. But still I stayed and watched the fighting till one figure stood apart, in armor newly fashioned and a helm more taut than art. But each blow was thrown with honor and a lightness of the heart. So I took that step which soon became a start. 'Cause she was not the biggest fighter or one to raise a fuss, but I remember being proud that she was one of us. And we might never stand together in a shield wall side by side. Because of her I lift my sword with pride. She was ladylike and lively, not the type you would expect, with a braver heart than many, and a slot shot to respect. And I guess she once decided this was where she'd like to be. And I thought if she could do it, why not me? 'Cause she was not the biggest fighter or one to raise a fuss, but I remember being proud that she was one of us. And we might never stand together in a shield wall side by side. Because of her I lift my sword with pride. So now as I gather armor, bits and pieces here and there, I think about examples, how you act and what you dare. 'Cause you never know who's watching or how far that story goes. Wherever that lady is, I hope she knows. 'Cause she was not the biggest fighter or one to raise a fuss, but I remember being proud that she was one of us. And we might never stand together in a shield wall side by side. Because of her I lift my sword with pride. We might never stand together in a shield wall side by side. Because of her I lift my sword with pride.
Okay.
So the best part about playing to all of you guys is that I can actually build my set list by saying, what do you guys want to hear? And this was actually a request during the break. It ties in with the whole Celtic thing of, if you happen to be on a boat, don't expect it to get where it's going. Because really, I mean, think about it. Of all of the traditional Celtic songs, how many of them make it safely to their destination? Not that many.
I think the Celts would make marvelous submariners.
Indeed. So to that end, I came up with the ill-fated tale of a beautiful ship called the Greyhound. The chorus to this is, wait a minute, something the Reaper.
Well, we will find
We'll
out.
find out.
In
We'll get
about 24 bars.
The Greyhound sinking in the waves as fast as we the seas are cursed. The river bends your back. huge round of applause for our fabulous hosts tonight. Thank you to Trevor and Jackie for making it.
So inquiring minds want to know, what song did they choose?
It's funny you say that. So, yeah, I know. It's one that I know you have a passing familiarity with, having used it at your wedding. The whole idea of happily ever after. You know, Disney makes it sound like it's easy. You find that perfect someone and the wedding bells ring and suddenly it's smooth sailing for the rest of your life. And I actually just saw Maleficent and I thought, what a cool thing that the last couple of Disney movies have been poking holes in this, you know, true love is easy. True love happens, and I've seen it a lot. There are a lot of people who find that perfect someone, and I feel so privileged that I get to see it in all of its beautiful variety. But it takes work. You know, to make something last your whole life long, it takes a series of daily choices. And so this is my idea of what happily ever after really takes. It's called choose. Another June, another wedding. We are gathered here today to watch a girl who chose to be a bride. Give promises away. I do, the sun is shining. I reach out to hold your hand. We understand what kind of choices lie ahead. Every morning, choose to love something about him. Every day, remember who I chose to be. Every evening, choose to say the things that haven't yet been said. Then go to bed and choose to love the man I'm with. Another autumn, fall, or summer, and the skies are dark with rain. I'm so secure in the assumption he's the one who has to change. I do wish I could take back all the things that I regret and the accumulated damage that I do when I forget to every morning choose to love something about him. Every day, remember who I chose to be. Every evening, choose to say the things that haven't yet been said. Then go to bed and choose to love the man I'm with. Sometimes it falls apart before we pull it back together. Do we choose to let it go, or do we struggle through the weather? When we lived in different worlds, we have to wonder if it's better to appreciate the changes or forget about forever. Another year, another challenge. There's the distance, there's the weight, there's 1,000 aggravations that keep getting in the way. I told you once, you know I'd do the same again, because I meant it when we married. I meant it ever since. Every morning, choose to love something about him. Every day, remember who I chose to be. Every evening, choose to say the things that haven't yet been said. Then go to bed and choose to love the man I'm with. The man I'm with. Thank you guys. All right, since we're doing serious songs about getting hitched, I think should do a very serious song about, you know, after you've been married for a while. There is a refrain to this particular song. I need you to definitely sing along. It comes back over and over, so don't feel shy. And I learned it in Mars Hill, North Carolina. I was down at a Celtic festival down there, and they had all of the mountain musicians, the local Appalachian musicians, join in with all of the Americanized versions of these old ballads from the Celtic side of things. And this one came over about 150 years ago with settlers, scooted into the mountains, and turned into its own thing. So I will do the Americanized version of an old ballad called The Farmer's First Wife. Well, there was an old farmer lived over the hill. If he ain't moved on, he's living there still. Now the devil came to him one day. He said, "One of your kin I'm gonna take away." Don't take my only son, there's work on the farm that's gotta be done. Oh, but you can have my nagging wife. I swear by God, she's the curse of my life. She knocked out his brain singing ba-ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day, singing ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day. Out came a dozen demons, then a dozen more, but when she was done, they was flat on the floor. Ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day. So all those little demons went scrambling up the wall, saying, "Take her back, Daddy, she'll murder us all." Ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day, singing ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day. Well, the farmer woke up, looked out the crack, and he saw that devil bringing her back. Ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day. He heard, "Here's your wife, who's sounding well. If I kept her any longer, she'd have tore up hell." Ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day, singing ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day. Well, you know that old man jumped, and he bit his tongue, and he ran for the hills in a flat-out run. Ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day. He was heard to yell as he ran over the hill, "If the devil won't have her, but damned if I will." Singing ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day, singing ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day. That's what I'm singing. Ba-ba-doo-la-ba-ba-doo-la-day. Yes. Okay, so we go from something really fun, and then one of the other requests was one of the darker pieces that I do. So now for something completely different. I actually went through university as an environmental educator, as an environmental teacher. So when I graduated, I got my bachelor's, I went out and I started teaching at a nature school. And it was a really cool place. It was one of those sort of mad recluse houses. This fellow in the 20s had made his money selling health food, so we affectionately called it the Oatmeal Palace. But this guy was also fascinated by the Middle Ages because this Oatmeal Palace, this beautiful manor house in a river valley, had a great hall with a little minstrel's gallery where he would have his dinner parties, and he had stained glass in the windows of various knights in armor, Galahad and all of these other guys. So of course, being the history buff that I was, I felt very at home. And one day, a beautiful sunny day like today, the sun was coming through the whispering trees, and all of the other educators had gone out on long walks with their school groups. I was left to guard the fort. So there I was, walking through these halls that were empty, and I found myself going up to the little minstrel's gallery and looking down into the empty great hall. And this tune inserted itself into my brain. And it wouldn't let me go. And I kept humming it, and I kept humming it. I tried not to hum it, and I kept humming it. And by the time I made it home at the end of the workday, I immediately threw my shoes off and went to my piano and started writing. And so I can claim that I wrote this, but I sort of wonder if it found me. It was already written somewhere in the ether, and it decided I was the vessel for it. But it is a story of us carrying our parents' baggage forward. Because how many of us still fight our parents' wars, without really meaning to? This is Mordred's Lullaby. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down into sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down. Guileless son, I'll shape your belief, and you'll always know that your father's a thief, and you won't understand the cause of your grief, but you'll always follow the voices beneath it sing loyalty, 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 only to thee, son. Your spirit will hate her, that flower who married my brother the traitor, and you will expose his puppet behavior, for you are the proof of how we betrayed our loyalty, 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 only to me. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down into sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down. Guileless son, each day you grow older, each moment I'm watching my vengeance unfold. For the child of my body, the flesh of my soul, will die in returning the birthright he stole. Hush, child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down into sleep. Child, the darkness will rise from the deep and carry you down. This one is one. I am currently in the very beginning stages of building our huge Celtic Avalon show. I have wanted to do a touring theatrical production with lots of music based on the King Arthur story, because there's so much good stuff in there. And for years we've been saving and saving, and then the transmission would break on the car, and it's like, all right, back to square one. And in the interim, crowdfunding became a thing. And basically I said to everybody, I know you love this stuff too, let's make it happen. And you did, and I'm totally floored. So we are, by next July, going to have the King Arthur show ready to go. It's called Celtic Avalon. And we'll tour it around. We'll definitely come this way. But this is one of the songs. This is one of the songs that will definitely be in. It's a song about saying goodbye from the end of the story. It's called Tarnished Silver. Sleep, my tarnished silver. You guys are between us and the door, so I'm not saying that, you know, an optimist necessarily. Far be it from me to try to, like, you know, stage that or anything. Oh my goodness, thank you all so much for coming tonight. I know it's a weeknight, and I know there's 1,000 things that you need doing. Puts a tear in my eye. So anyways, yeah, I'm really glad you chose to come. We are not going to be doing... We're not going to be doing house concerts for a while, where, you know, we get a chance to just sort of hang out with our friends and make music. We're going to be doing conventions and festivals and SCA events and stuff, so it's not like we're disappearing, but we're going to be focused really hard on getting this big stage show going. When I first started singing, there were a lot of people that just said, keep doing it. You know? And I don't know if they understood how much that made a difference in my life. It's hard to share your art. And for everyone who does it, and everyone who offers a hand and a kind word to people who are standing up and doing